Hello, and welcome to EmpowerID 101. My name is Phil Geringer, one of the solution architects here at EmpowerID. I have created this series of short training videos to provide you with an administrator's understanding of EmpowerID. I have included videos that cover most aspects of EmpowerID, from basic concepts to complex configuration and everything in between. Each video has been designed to cover a very specific topic or process, so feel free to come back often and refresh your understanding of a particular area you're interested in. This video will cover RBAC delegation architecture. Now, EmpowerID RBAC delegation can really be thought of as a pyramid of privileges, where access is assigned by layering the various assignment components from the base resources being protected all the way up through the person being granted the access. Now, the permissions accumulate and build upon each other to form the complete set of privileges available to the user. So what it's all about? As we've said in many of our previous videos, it's all about the resources we're protecting. See, our EmpowerID RBAC delegations are built around the protection of resources within our meta directory, such as accounts, groups, mailboxes, etc. In order to manipulate a protected resource, specific RBAC assigned protected operation access has to be granted. So the protected resources here form the base of our delegation pyramid. Now, protected operations. Protected operations are those specific pieces of functionality that we've looked at before, such as edit user attributes, change quota, add member to group, etc., that are used in workflows as encapsulated activity shapes in the workstream. Now, each type of resource that we have will have its own set of operations that can be used to manage the resource. So in order to manipulate or impact a resource, a person has to be delegated the authority to execute a particular protected operation against that resource. Now let's talk about our resource roles. So the protected operations themselves cannot be assigned individually to a person. All right, they must be assigned to a resource role, also called an access level, which then gets assigned to a person. Now, these resource roles are simply bundles of operations that support a particular level of access to a resource type, such as password manager. Now, multiple resource roles can be created that represent varying levels of access to resources based on the protected operations that are assigned to them. And they're the lowest level of access that can be assigned to an actor. So we build these resource roles from our protected operations to create our various access levels. Now, to take a look at one of our systems, just to illustrate what we have here, we're going to take a look in here. And this screen that I have here, we've seen this before in previous videos. Let's just take a look at a few examples here. So we have a resource type of person, and this person can have many different resource roles, such as self-service password reset user, provisioning, deprovisioning, business role change, password reset and unlock, various types of resource roles associated with that particular resource. Now, one of the things we're going to do in this video is I'm going to show you the view that we have of our resource roles and our management roles from the standpoint of our management console, our Windows Presentation Foundation client application that we have. Because when we're dealing with resource roles and the various operations associated with them, a lot of times it can give us a simpler view to look at our management console here. So what I'm going to do in our management console is I'm going to take a look at our configuration manager, and I'm going to go to our resource role definitions. So these are our resource role definitions that we have in the system. You can see there are various resource roles for all the different types of resources that we have: our Exchange mailboxes, public folders, assets, catalog items, security groups. So what I'm going to do is let's take a look at, for instance, our person resource roles. We'll just bring one of these up and take a look at what we see here. So if you look at our operations in the resource roles here, here are all the various resource roles, or access levels as they're called, for a person object. So you see we can have a help desk resource role, and this resource role will have these protected operations associated with that resource role. There's quite a few of them. On the other hand, if we have something like a password reset and unlock, it may have many fewer resource roles associated with it. So this one just has unlock person accounts, reset password, just a few basic resource roles associated with that. Then again, we'll have the editor, which will have, once again, different operations associated with it. All right, so you can see that we're basically bundling different types of operations together to form these various levels of access that we can have. And then we can assign these to various people and to other assignment points. All right, so let's go back to our slides here. So now, management role definitions. So once we have our resource roles configured and established the way we want them with the various operations that need to be bundled together, we then can bundle together the resource roles into management roles so that multiple resource access levels can be assigned as a single unit to a person. Now, to create our management roles, however, we first need to start with what we call a management role definition, where we bundle common assignments together that can be used as templates to easily and efficiently create our management roles. Now, assignments such as workflows, pages, and controls, which can be common to multiple management roles, are placed in a management role definition so we can build our management roles from them. So an example of that would be an IT help desk. If you have an organization that has a global presence and they may have a different help desk group or department for each of their, say, regional locations, they may have a European help desk group, maybe an Asia help desk group, a US help desk group. Well, each of those help desk groups will need access to different person objects, group objects, and things like that, but they will all have in common the workflows that they'll need to run, the pages that they'll need to see, the various controls that they'll need to see. So what we provide is the way to create one of these management role definitions that have those common assignments in them. Now let's take a look at what that does for us when we look at our management roles. So we'll go back here again. We're going to go back to our resource manager, and we're going to take a look at some of these management role definitions that we have. So let's take a look at our management role definitions that we have in our system here. And we can see we have an IT help desk, IT administrator. Let's take a look at the IT help desk. We bring that one up on the screen, and we take a look at the resource roles that are assigned to this particular management role definition. We see that we've got a number of workflows. So we've got 68 different workflows that are assigned to this definition. We have pages and reports, a good number of 38 pages and reports that are common to our management roles. And then we have a number of controls that get assigned. So altogether, we have about 132 separate assignments for this management role definition. Now, the nice thing about this is I can take this management role definition and I can build my various management roles from it. So let's take a look. If we look at management roles now, let's just create a quick management role here. So we're going to run a workflow to create a management role. And we're going to call this the London Help Desk. And we're going to build this from our management role definition called IT Help Desk. All right, so we're going to submit that. So all we've done is we've created a base management role from that particular management role definition. So now if we look at our London Help Desk here, the one we just created, and that would be this one here. When we look at the resource role assignments, we'll notice that we already have 132 assignments already inherited into this management role. So I no longer have to put all of these other assignments into my management role. I can simply concentrate on the very few assignments that I need for my scoped access. And that's how the management role definition assists us with creating that management role. Because any changes we make to that management role definition in the future will dynamically update any management role that's created from this management role definition. All right, so now as we look and illustrate our management roles, we can see that our management roles come into play here and are built from the management role definition and inherit any assignments that were assigned to the definition. Now, like I said before, once created, any changes to assignments that we make in the definition itself will automatically inherit into and update the management roles built from that definition. So once we have our management roles established, then we complete the management role by adding any additional scoped resource roles to provide access to the multiple resources across a specified scope of authority, such as all users in a specific location. Now, if we go back to the example we were looking at in our system, we've got our London help desk that we created. Now, all it has right now are the inherited resource roles for the pages and controls and the workflows that it can run. So we're going to add some additional assignments. So we're going to click on Add New. And here's where we're going to assign some specific assignments. So the first assignment we're going to do is going to be a scoped assignment for person objects. So we're going to select by location, and we're going to assign person objects, and we're going to have this be the help desk resource role. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to tell the system that we want this assignment to be scoped at London. So what we're telling us here is that we want this particular management role to have the help desk resource role for all person objects that are located in London.
Charlie counter, please.
And that provides us our scoped assignment there. Now what we can do is we can assign maybe the ability to manage some distribution groups. So we're going to make an assignment for distribution groups for an access manager for all distribution groups in the London location. And then finally, we'll go ahead and we'll give it the assignment for Exchange mailboxes, maybe for a recipient management resource role for all Exchange mailboxes in London. So these three scoped assignments are going to be added to the management role, which will now give the person that has this management role the ability to be a person help desk, group access manager, and Exchange mailbox recipient manager for all of those particular objects that exist in the London location. So that's what we call a scoped assignment. So the combination of what I got from my management role definition, which were those pages, workflows, and controls, plus what I get from these scoped assignments that were added, provide me the complete set of assignments for these particular management roles. Now, what do we do with these management roles? In EmpowerID, we have what we call intermediary actors. So we're going to take these management roles and we're going to assign them to things like a role and location combination, or an Active Directory group, or an account, or a query-based or code-based set group. Now what this is going to do, these actors in the system, what we call these assignment actors or intermediary actors, can't actually do anything in EmpowerID. They're simply assignment points that we can accumulate some assignments to, so that when someone is assigned to that particular assignment point, they'll get the assignments. So for instance, with this role and location, what we can do with that London management role that we're working on. Let's go back here and take a look. So we've got this London management role that we're creating. And what we can do is we can see management role assignees. And if we add an assignee here, we can do one of those intermediary assignments. So we can say that based on a business role and location, anybody who is a level 1 help desk, who has a level 1 help desk role in the London location, should be assigned this management role of London help desk. All right, so this is the assignment that we're going to make. And that's an assignment to that intermediary actor. All right, so that just illustrates what we're talking about here with our management roles being assigned to the intermediary actors. All right, so once we have our management roles assigned to here, so we just did an assignment of that London help desk management role to a business role and location, we can then even get more granular with that access, and we can do an assignment of specific resource roles to those intermediary actors. So as we see here, individual resource roles can also be assigned to the various types of actors to provide more granular assignments of specific resource access. These assignments could be, for instance, for specific policy-based assignments, such as group membership. So I may want to assign to a business role and location a group membership to a particular group, so that anyone who gets placed in that particular business role and location assignment would get the member resource role assignment to a particular group. So all we're doing here is we're accumulating assignments, accumulating RBAC assignments into these assignment actors, these buckets of assignments here. So we've added some management roles, we've added some resource roles. Now, power to the people. If you remember from one of our previous videos, the ultimate actor within EmpowerID is the person. A person object is the only entity within EmpowerID that can actually run a workflow and have rights assigned to it for being able to do work. All right. So what we see here is management roles and resource role assignments that have been assigned to these various intermediary actors or assignment actors will now flow up to any person object that is linked to them, which makes up what I like to call the birthright assignments for the person. All right. So this person is assigned to that IT help desk role in the London location, like we just looked at in our example. Then he would receive that London help desk management role, and then he would also receive any, say, group memberships or other assignments that I had done through our direct resource role assignments to that role and location. So now that person, just by being assigned to that business role and location, or being assigned to an account that has a group membership in a particular group, he would get those birthright assignments. But we're not done yet. So once that person has those default assignments, if you will, from the role and location, we can then assign management roles directly to the person. So I can take a person that is, say, for instance, the London help desk. He's an IT help desk person in London, so he's gotten that management role for London help desk. Well, maybe he needs to cover for the Asia help desk every once in a while when that person's on vacation. We could assign a management role directly to that person by just doing a management role assignment to the person. Let me show you what that would look like here. We could, of course, do it in our management console here by going to management role assignees, add new, and then select the person. But there's also an easier way to do it. If we go to our system here, and for instance, we find that that person, maybe help desk person. So we find our help desk person here, and we take a look at the management roles that he currently has. So he's got the self-service user, he's got the London help desk user, he's got a level 1 help desk. Well, maybe he needs to have another management role assigned to him. So we can go ahead and we can individually assign, for instance, the IT administrator, or maybe the IT admin in Houston. So we're going to do that. Now that creates what we call a direct management role assignment to that person. So he now has the IT admin in Houston management role and gets any operational assignments that come along with that IT admin in Houston management role. And so that's this leg that we're looking at here. All right. Now, to complete our assignments, we can also do granular access of a resource role directly to the individual person, right? So we can assign individual resource roles directly to a person to provide that very granular one-off, if you will, access for some specific right that they need. For instance, access manager for a specific group. So given all the rest of the assignments that our user now has for the London help desk, for the IT admin in Houston, we could go back into that person where we are here, and we could go to our additional information and go to access assignments granted to this person, and we can actually give him a specific access assignment. For instance, maybe a particular group that he needs to be able to manage also that's not in London or Houston. So we'll go to our security groups, and we can grant him access manager to maybe the Hong Kong group. So this is one of those specific resource role assignments of access manager to the all Hong Kong users group that we're looking at in this line right here. I know it's been relatively quick, but basically to summarize, RBAC delegations can be granted via multiple direct and inherited assignments from multiple paths. And the ultimate goal in doing our delegation assignments is to get all of those individual operations, protected operations, assigned to a person so they can perform their job function. And we build those delegations by assigning the operations to resource roles. And then we assign those resource roles to management roles. We then can assign these resource roles and management roles to intermediary actors such as roles and locations, groups, accounts, etc. And then a person will get the assignments by being linked to those various intermediary actors, as well as having individual management roles and resource roles directly assigned to them. So I hope you've enjoyed watching this EmpowerID 101 video on our RBAC delegation assignments. Come back often for some additional videos. We look forward to seeing you then.